Welcome into the ESPN FC studio. Shaka Hislop, Sebastian Salazar. Shaka, let's talk Luke Shaw, 21-year-old left back, came into Manchester United with so much promise as a teenager, yet he hasn't featured since November. One, is it time to move on? And two, if it is time to move on, is it time to make that move permanent?
Well, it depends on whose perspective we're talking about here. If I'm Luke Shaw's agent, I'm thinking, yes, probably it is time to move on. I don't seem to fit in Jose Mourinho's plans. Maybe I need to seek newer pastures. From a Manchester United perspective, Luke Shaw is a player who highly regarded. They spent a lot of money in bringing in, albeit under Van Gaal, and that team had its own issues. He then suffered this horrific injury, which he's now got himself back from. He's still only 21 years old. So if I'm now sitting on the Manchester United side of the table, I'm thinking, I don't want to give this player up yet. I don't want to give up on him just yet. Maybe the option for Manchester United, if he doesn't fit in Mourinho's immediate plans, is to send him out on loan. Maybe to a club like, and I'm biased here, West Ham, who have a history of bringing players through, who the fans also appreciate in terms of, and a little bit more understanding in terms of young players and some of those teething issues. Maybe it's a matter of sending him out onto the continent where he can start to improve his own tactical intelligence and then bring him back. I think it's way too early to be giving up on a 21-year-old. But like I said, if I'm Luke Shaw's agent and I can get a big money move away, a big money permanent move, and that security, I would seriously consider that as well.
You mentioned the agent. He says Luke Shaw is happy at Manchester United, and Manchester United are happy with Luke Shaw. I think you take everything that the agent says with a grain of salt.
Yep.
Let me ask you this, though. How much of this has to do with what Jose Mourinho wants out of a left back? You look at Matteo Darmian, Daley Blind, even Marcos Rojo, who's played there. Those are not guys that get forward a ton. Luke Shaw is.
Well, I think Jose Mourinho, and I have been critical of Jose Mourinho in the past, given how pragmatic, for want of a better term, a lot of his teams are. And I think there was an immediate need for Jose Mourinho to have this Manchester United be far more pragmatic. Let's be honest, the only reason Manchester United were in the top half of the table, dare I say, is because of David De Gea's superhumanness, if that's a word. So he had to shore up this defense. He had to give David De Gea some protection, and he's now done that. I think as you see this team grow, you see this team evolve, you probably can and should expect to see more attack-minded wing-backs, defenders who can get forward, who are more comfortable on the ball. But that, again, is, I'm thinking, next season, a season or two down the line. And as a result, I still don't think you give up on Luke Shaw. But saying that, all signs are right now is maybe he's just not a perfect fit for Jose Mourinho. Sometimes players and managers just don't seem to click for whatever reason.
One of the potential landing spots for Shaw that keeps coming up is Spurs. But you see Danny Rose there, well established at the left back spot. Wherever Shaw goes, he's got to play right away, right?
He's got to play. And right now, he's not getting in ahead of Danny Rose, who has been outstanding over the course of the season and continues to improve. So that, for me, is not a solution. And again, maybe I'm just being biased, but West Ham, if you want to stay in England, West Ham, for me, is the perfect fit, just knowing that club as I do. Or if you are thinking long-term, again, maybe look at a club out on the continent where he can start to grow his own footballing IQ, and maybe that saves him better given his old natural propensities to the game.
You said it, just 21 years old. Plenty left to be written in Luke Shaw's future.